What is the standard American diet and why is it sad? The standard American diet is commonly associated with modern American eating habits. This is characterized by high intake of ultra-processed foods, added sugars, unhealthy fats and seed oils. The standard American diet is linked to numerous health problems such as obesity, type 2 diabetes, autoimmune disorders, and metabolic dysfunction. The typical American lives a busy lifestyle which is high in artificial stressors, poor diet, little exercise, and limited or poor quality sleep. We have been fed the lie that this is necessary to achieve success. Through slick marketing campaigns, we are led to believe that eating ultra-processed foods that are low in nutritional value will make our lives better. The reality is that these foods keep us sick. Their only benefits are for those that profit from their sales. Ultra-processed foods are cheap to manufacture, have a prolonged shelf life, and contain addictive substances which make us crave them. Adding to the problem is the complexity of the modern food chain. It can be easy to become overwhelmed by trying to eat healthy. Fruits and vegetables that are in your local grocery store have typically traveled hundreds of miles to get there, and as a result are not fresh. The longer it takes for fruits and vegetables to be consumed after picking, the less nutrients they actually contain. Add to that our modern farming methods which concentrate on single or limited crops which deplete the soil of nutrients, thereby depleting any fruits or vegetables grown in that soil of nutrients. Added chemicals and fertilizers also affect the nutritional value of our fresh foods. Another overwhelming hurdle in choosing a healthy diet is the labeling of foods. Terms such as natural flavorings can be very misleading. The FDA requires that ingredients marked as natural flavoring must generally be recognized as safe. This does not mean that these ingredients are minimally processed or without chemical modification. Additives derived from genetically modified organisms, GMOs, can still be labeled as natural. The FDA term, generally recognized as safe, only means that those substances are considered safe due to history of common usage. This means that these foods have been evaluated by experts in the field. Many foods that were previously recognized as safe have since been found to be harmful, such as PFAs used in non-stick cookware, which have been linked to liver damage, kidney damage, cancer, and developmental problems in children. Artificial sweeteners, some of which have been linked to heart disease and cancer. Some of the typical ingredients of the standard American diet include high fructose corn syrup, which is a sweetener made from cornstarch that is processed to convert some of its glucose into fructose. It is commonly found in soft drinks, candy, baked goods, canned fruits, processed snacks, and condiments, among other processed foods. High fructose corn syrup is produced by enzymatically processing cornstarch to break down glucose molecules into fructose. This process produces syrup which is very sweet and cheap. High fructose corn syrup is primarily metabolized in the liver, unlike glucose, which is rapidly absorbed into the bloodstream. After being absorbed into the bloodstream, glucose stimulates the release of insulin from the pancreas. Insulin functions as the glucose transport into cells to produce energy. Insulin helps regulate blood sugar levels by promoting glucose uptake into the cells, and storing excess glucose as glycogen in the liver and muscles. If glycogen stores are full, excess glucose is then converted into fat for long-term storage. Unlike glucose, which is absorbed directly into the bloodstream, fructose is primarily metabolized in the liver. As a result, it does not significantly stimulate insulin secretion from the pancreas. Fructose metabolism can lead to increased production of triglycerides or fat in the liver. This happens because fructose bypasses a regulatory step of glucose metabolism. As a result, fructose metabolism can contribute to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and insulin resistance. Also, fructose metabolism does not result in the same satiety signals as glucose. Satiety signaling tells the body that it is full and has had enough to eat. Other functions of insulin besides the uptake of glucose into cells is the release of hormones related to satiety such as leptin and ghrelin. Leptin is released from adipose tissue or fat cells by insulin stimulation. Leptin is a hormone that suppresses appetite and signals to the brain that we are full. Insulin inhibits the release of ghrelin, which is a hormone produced by the stomach that stimulates hunger. Lower levels of ghrelin contribute to reduced feelings of hunger. Artificial sweeteners, such as aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin are used to enhance food and drink sweetness without adding calories. There have been studies indicating the toxic side effects of these sweeteners. Aspartame continues to be classified as generally recognized as safe by the FDA, even though a study by the International Agency for Research on Cancer in 2023 classified aspartame as possibly carcinogenic to humans. The conclusions of this study have been disputed though. Aspartame is found in Equal, NutraSweet and many diet sodas and has been linked to cognitive deficits. It is currently in over 6,000 products. Aspartame consumption alters levels of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which are critical for mood regulation and cognitive functioning. As aspartame is digested in the small intestine, methanol is produced. This methanol then produces formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is a known carcinogen. Aspartame has also been causally aligned with negative effects on the gut microbiome, resulting in weight gain. Aspartame has been associated with increases of depression, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and early onset of menstrual cycle. Sucralose, which is marketed as Splenda, is about 600 times sweeter than sucrose or table sugar. Sucralose can make it difficult for the body to control calorie intake, which can boost cravings for sweet, high-calorie foods. It can disrupt the body's natural mechanisms for regulating hunger and satiety. There is also a possible link to sucralose consumption and alterations in gut microbiota. Other key ingredients in the standard American diet are seed oils. These are highly processed oils such as soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil, and sunflower oil. They can have a negative impact on inflammation, metabolism, and overall health. Consumption of seed oils can lead to systemic inflammation and oxidative stress. They are high in omega-6 fatty acids, which promote systemic inflammation. They are a key factor in cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and autoimmune disorders. Ultra-processed seed oils also lead to oxidative stress, which can damage cells, tissues, and DNA, which can aggravate conditions like aging, cancer, and neurodegenerative diseases. Omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids are essential for human health. The problem is an imbalance of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids in the diet. A 4:1 to 1:1 ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 is generally recognized as a healthy ratio. Most Americans have from 10:1 to 20:1 or higher ratio, which leads to systemic inflammation and the previously mentioned complications. The bottom line is that having a healthy diet can be a difficult process, making it feel daunting and unattainable. Educating yourself on which foods are good, and some basics of reading labels, can make a large difference to most people. Simple changes in habits like shopping around the outside of your local grocery can help. Processed foods with a high financial return are typically located in the center of a grocery store. When you think about it, vegetables, meats, and dairy products are typically on the outer edges of the grocery store. Spending most of your time and money on the products on the outer edge of a store will result in more healthy choices. Making small changes that are manageable can be a great way to start living a healthier lifestyle.